Number 7. There are many square prisms with a volume of 150 cubic inches. Let W represent the side length of the square base and H represent the height in inches. This means that the formula for the volume of these prisms are V equals W squared H, and the formula for surface area is S equals 2W squared plus 4WH. A. Write an equation for H in terms of W when the volume of the prism is 150 cubic inches. Show your work. So we have our volume formula, which is W squared H. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 150 for volume. So 150 equals W squared H. And it says to write an equation for H, which means I need to get H by itself. So I have to get H by itself. How am I going to do that? Well, I have to get rid of anything that's with it. So this is W squared times H. How do I get rid of multiplication? I get rid of multiplication by dividing. So if I divide both sides by W squared, that will get H by itself. And I will end up with H equals 150 over W squared. That is your answer for part A. Write an equation for H in terms of W. Right here, H equals 150 divided by W squared. Part B, using your solution from part A, write an equation for S as a function of W when the volume of the prism is 150 cubic inches. So we have S equals 2W squared plus 4WH. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that formula and I'm going to plug in this right here. I'm going to plug that in for H. So I'm going to replace H with 150 over W squared. Okay, 150 over W squared. And then I'm going to simplify. Okay, so I can extend this fractional divider. I can extend that. All right, and I can rewrite this as 2W squared plus, over on top here I have 4 times 150. I can multiply that together. So I'm going to take my calculator and I'm going to multiply 4 times 150, and I end up with 600. So 4 times 150 is 600, and then I have W over W squared. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite W squared as W times W. Why am I going to do that? Because now I can take this W up here and I can cancel one of the two W's down in the bottom, down in the denominator. So when I do that, I end up with a final answer of 2W squared plus 600 over W. There is nothing else I can do to simplify, so this answers the question. Write an equation for S as a function of W when the volume of the prism is 150. All right, the equation is 2W squared plus 600 over W.